And now the news. As various sections of the BVI continue to grapple with water shortage, Bywater is still being blamed by Minister for Communications and Works Mark Vanterpool for the major challenges with water production and distribution. He was responding to Leader of the Opposition Julian Fraser, who says he has repeatedly asked for an upgrade to the water infrastructure in his constituency. Fraser said people in his district are suffering from lack of water supply and suggested that sections of Seacows Bay are being sabotaged because he is not a government parliamentarian.
We should not be talking about water today. No. There was a water plant in Seacows Bay. Was. And for most of you who know where it was, would think it's still there because the building shell is there, but there's nothing inside it. It has been cannibalized, and the parts are somewhere in Virgin Gorda, I believe. If you can't get water, Mr. Premier, if you can't get water from Sabbath Hill to Hannah Hill because you don't have the proper infrastructure to do it, you should have had that plant in Seacows up and running to put water in the Hannah Hill Reservoir. Not because I am not a member of your government. I'm in the opposition, Madam Speaker. And my district should be suffering for anything.
Speaking on September 23rd in the House of Assembly in response, Minister Vanterpool dismissed claims of political victimization. He said he's still not pleased with the water shortage that is affecting a number of communities.
I myself am not happy in what is happening with water throughout the territory. And from what I heard today, the leader of opposition, member for the third, is suggesting that we are not making it happen in Seacows Bay because he's on the other side. But that is not the case, Madam Speaker. We have water issues and water woes throughout the territory. And I, as minister, will not mince my words to say that I am not satisfied with what is happening. And we are not sitting and not trying to change things. We are making a conscious effort, especially now, considering what is happening with the cost, with the lack of water in many areas. We are making a major effort to turn this around, Madam Speaker. And while I cannot suggest, Madam Speaker, that the effort will see fruits overnight in any major way, we are looking forward to, over the next 12 months or so, seeing a major improvement to the water supply system in the territory, distribution. And to those who are not getting water in the higher elevations, those where water is not being sent to persons because the pressure isn't right, and all kinds of issues. I get calls every day, Madam Speaker. I was overseas over the last weekend past, and I got a call from persons living in Horspath. I felt really bad for the gentleman. I called my Parliament Secretary and said, why are we getting water to this particular place? And there's always some other story. I was so upset with myself, I couldn't even call back the gentleman right away. I had to gather myself because the excuse for why he wasn't getting water was not right. So we are making our efforts to do it. And hopefully, Madam Speaker, in a not too distant future, we'll have water in a better way to various parts of the territory.
Minister Vanterpool further claimed that the Bywater contract signed by the former VIP government is contributing to the challenges being faced with water production and distribution.
But Madam Speaker, I can't in my own good conscience, forgive me, I can't in my own good conscience listen to the Leader of Opposition yesterday through my questions, and today again, suggest that the water woes are a result of our inadequacy. Yes, in certain areas. But Madam Speaker, the problems of water in the most major way comes as a result of this document. This document sitting in my hand. This is the problem why we're having major water woes, even in the Seacows Bay area. somebody in their good wisdom, Madam Speaker, decided that they were going to put a water plant in the most eastern part of the territory to send water to the most western part of the territory, over mountains, over hills and valleys. You know that song, Madam Speaker? Over the mountains, over hills and valleys, to get water from East End. We made a decision to invest $40-something million according to the loan, what they said it took, to build a plant in Parachita Bay, send it up the mountain, then suggest in the distribution plan that I received in my hand when I got to the ministry, suggest that the way to get the water to the western end is to go over the mountain, down through the valley, come back up to the mountain again, and I am now trying to implement that plan, and the person who proposed that plan is here talking, but he ain't getting no water down there. I can't get the water to the people. Through it because of this document. And then what it costs me to get the water to the people, Madam Speaker, is the next thing. I'm struggling to pay for the cost of getting the water to the people because of this document. It can never go away. People say, man, leader, by one thing, it doesn't happen already, it can never go away. And I myself didn't quite understand it. Still trying to understand it. Madam Speaker, I heard when this document was being delivered and signed that the government will pay $12.70 per 1,000 gallons for water from Bywater. Plus, Madam Speaker, we will have to pay for our own electricity to produce the water. At a cost of, at the time, because fuel was very expensive, about $5 to $6 per 1,000 gallons. Now it's lower, about $3 because of the lower fuel cost. Thank God. But in July, Bywater billed the government without electricity at $17.90 per 1,000 gallons. $17.90. That's $5.20 more per 1,000 gallons than this document purported to have given us water. That was in July, Madam Speaker. But that's not all, Madam Speaker. Hear the story. Hear the news. Because it got news about the water document still, Madam Speaker. Hear the news. In September, this month, you know how much Bywater is billing the government for water without electricity? $19.77 per 1,000 gallons.
Minister Vanterpool added that as a result of Bywater, government is being forced to foot the cost of keeping the Borgers Bay plant as a backup option despite calls to close it. The Borgers Bay plant is being operated by shareholder of Ocean Conversion, which so far this year has been paid just over $1 million.